Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. And I'm here for today's live video. So I did say last week when we created this layout, I think it turned out really cute. So that's my golden doodle at a fun day at daycare. Sometimes they have like those theme days. So this was called Dog Wars. So I said I would come back when the sketch was ready. And so I've got the sketch ready to download. It should be, a link should be available on the pinned comment to the video. But because today is October the 1st and Stampin' Up! Has like a bunch of stuff happening, I thought that I should maybe just go over it really quickly right here at the beginning, and then we'll start creating. While you're listening to me, if you want, you can go and download the link to the sketch. But so starting on October 1st, which is today, if you're watching live, if not, it is whatever day it is for you that day. Stampin' Up! Has launched their join offer for the month of October 2025. And so I'm just going to quickly, like I said, go over the details. So it's the best starter kit offer ever. And it's available October 1st to the 31st. And there's actually two options. So you kind of get to pick your own level, let's just call it that. Normally when they do a join offer, it's kind of, this is the offer, here you go. But they've done two offers. Basically you get to pick. So I'm just going to put them up on the screen. So the first one is when you join for $48, you get $165 worth of product. So that's offer number one that you could take advantage of. And the second one is for $135, you get $252 worth of product. So like I said, I just wanted to draw your attention to that both those offers are available only during the month of October 2025. So if you're in Canada and interested in joining my team, please feel free to reach out. I will actually add the join link into one of the comments after the video's finished airing. If you wanted to just go and quietly read the details, that's totally okay too. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. One of the things that as a team leader, I do offer, all of my team members get all of my workshops for free. So that's what I have to say about the join offer. Like it says, it's our best starter kit offer ever. And there's two levels. If you have any questions, and if you're not watching in Canada, these are the Canadian pricing. This is the Canadian pricing for the two kits. Okay, so like I said, I just thought I should go over those details. Also, I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that there are 3 brand new kits available in the kits section. So actually they're all different. So there is a card kit, which is like holiday themed cards. There's a mini album, which is like for recording your Christmas memories. You know me, I'm all about documenting. So that might have gone into my cart this morning. And then the third thing is there is a kit for tags for giving your Christmas gifts and all of those fun things. Okay, so I think that we are now caught up on October the 1st happenings. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer them. You could drop them into the comments where you're watching the video, or you can always reach out to me by email at chris@chrisscreativelife.com. Okay, so now let's move this out of the way. There we go. Okay, so, and if you want to know anything too, obviously just stop by my blog. There's an FAQ section on my blog too. All my workshop guides are on my blog, all those fun things, and that's chrisscreativelife.com. But, okay. So this was the layout I created last week. If you missed that video, you can go back and watch it on my YouTube channel. It's probably the fastest way to find it. But like I said, the link for the sketch is in the pinned comment. So if you're having a hard time finding it, just comment sketch and I'll come back and add the link to your comment. It'll take you to my blog. It's actually right now just a hidden product. So you need that actual link to find it. You can't just like Google it or whatever. Okay, so like the description of my video said, we're going to create today a Halloween version. So I'm going to add my desk in here. And let's get started. Okay, so like I said, this is the downloadable sketch. We're going to alter things today. And then there will probably be like an updated sketch too on how I changed things today. But if you download it, there is a link to the video where I actually assembled this layout, which turned out, like I said, super duper cute. So there's a photograph and then there's actually the supply list also. So the thing that I played with here is I wanted my alphas to look like they were gold dipped. So we're going to do something different with alphas today. So I don't know if you saw my sneak peek, but we are playing with Spooky Sweets. And I love this piece of paper with the little characters. So I knew I had to fussy cut some of them out and add them to my layout. So one of the pieces of paper from Spooky Sweets has these sweet characters, right? So there's the flamingo and the little piggy and a bear and a bat. I think that's all the characters. So I knew I wanted to incorporate them into my layout today. So I did use the same sketch, right? But we're going to alter it, of course. So, like I said, I'm using the Spooky Sweets collection today. We're going to add more photographs. And I'm going to do something different with the title. But the basic pieces of my sketch, like of my papers and sketch, are the same. So I'm not going to go over the measurements. You can download the sketch to grab them. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere these two pieces of paper together, because then I can add them all at once to my layout. So like I said, if I put these together first, I can just set them aside and then grab them when it comes time. There we go. That's better. I'm like, those margins don't look the same. Okay, so for the other one, right, I just used early espresso and then crumb cake. But today I'm actually going to use one of the pattern papers, and I liked this one. On the back side are all these fun tags, so you could use them for journaling boxes, as I did in my Spooky Sweets scrapbooking workshop. I used some of them as journaling boxes. I used some of them as decorations on my layout. If you're interested in any details about the Spooky Sweet workshop, you can find that on my blog also, just under like the workshop guides tab. So like I said, if you can't get the link to work, feel free to just comment sketch, and I will come back and help direct you to the correct link. And I want my direction like this, I think. Sorry, sometimes it's hard on black, right? With my little lines on my ruler being black. There we go. So I'm just going to center that one. Okay, so then Last week I put my column on this side. This week we're going to put the column on the other side. Like I said, I'm changing up the photos. We're going to put more photos on this one. So this one was like one large 5x7 or 7x5, 4x3, and a 3x3. We're going to add 4 photos onto this layout. But we're moving it over to the other side, and my title is going to be longer. I think you're going to like the title. It turned out really cute. But like I said, we're going to put the title on, or the column on this side. So, see, look at how cute they are. But I'm going to put it exactly the same distance so that they like look the same but are just a little bit different. Okay, we're going to go with like 7/8 here. Okay, and they're already adhered together. Because I cut out the characters for my layout, I didn't use that other side of the piece of paper. Okay, so here I'm going to go over, we have a 4x6 with a mat, which is granny apple green. And so that's just, my mats are all just like a 1/4 inch larger. So then I have another 4x3 we're going to put over here. And one for down here. So these two are going to kind of go like this. Then we have 2 Daffodil Delight ones. So we have a 3x3 and a 4x3. Okay, so here is what we're going to do for our title. So I have another piece of the paper. This is the Petunia Pop, and it's kind of got like that hatch pattern on it. So it is the same width, but it's longer. So we are going to trim some off. And I'm going to dovetail the end first to start off with. So, because it's a funny size, to find my middle point, I'm just going to fold it in half and just push it a little bit right there so I can see my halfway point. So then I can cut up the middle. I'm going to make this a very shallow dovetail, just like I did on the other one. So it's super easy, right, to find the middle point when it's like a nice, like 3 inches or whatever. But I do believe this is 2 3/4. So if you don't want to have to play with like a funky measurement, then you can just fold it like that in the middle, and then you get your middle point. Okay, so this is going up here. Okay, so this is what I did with Alpha for today. We are going to make, it's going to say spooky, and I put the little spider webs on them. I also did adhere like 3 sections together. So this is going to be our title, but I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So, right, I'm using the Party Alpha again, and I love that these kind of make it look like a single spider web. Okay, and I'm going to put a big character here. But so I'm going to show you exactly what I did, because obviously I didn't think you wanted to watch me glue all my little letters together. So first things first, let's make one of our letters. Okay, we're going to do the K. So I do have another set of letters. I know the letters turned out super cute. Okay, so I do have one spider web cut already, but here's what I did is I just took a piece of basic white and a blending brush, And then that's upside down for you guys. Basic gray. I did put an adhesive sheet on the back because I knew I would be cutting out the spider webs, and I wanted to make it easy so that I didn't have to glue them onto each of my letters. So I didn't want them to be like all white, or I wanted them to kind of look spooky, right? So I thought by adding the basic gray onto the white, then let's just close this up so I don't put it all over myself. I took, nope, it's not in there. It's from Fright Night. So I loved these little spider webs, and so I just added them onto here, and then I'll cut one out. And of course, because there's 3 spider webs, right, I could run through a few at a time on the same piece of paper. So then because these have an adhesive sheet on the back, they will then come off super easy. And I wanted it to hang off so that it kind of looked like the spider web was hanging off of each of the letters. So then we can just peel the adhesive sheet off. And you can decide however you want it to go on your letter. So for this one, I just had it hanging off like this. And if you wanted to cut exact, then you could just put back your letter. So let's see if I can actually find the right letter. Or you can just trim it out because it's running off the edge, right? So, but I could just, if I want it to be exact, lay it back inside the letter and run it through the die cutting machine again. Just like that, and crank it through again. Or you can just fussy cut it out. And depending on where on the letter you add it, right? If I just wanted to go like part of it on, then I can just trim it out. So there's a spider web on a different angle than this one. And I kind of wanted them to all be different across the page. So, okay. So we've got our title. That's exactly how I did it. You guys, I love the Party Alphas. As you know, they are like the perfect size for scrapbooking, or like a card where you want like a nice bold sentiment. Okay, so this is what we have going on. But over here, from the die cuts, which also come Spooky Sweets has a die cut sheet. So you get 2 in the package, and there's this super cute hippopotamus on it. So I'm going to put him at that end. And then I fussy cut out of the paper. So I'm using the sweet in different ways, right? The little bat. This I think is a little girl bat. So she's going to go here. I think I'm going to actually adhere down my banner first. So I'm going to turn it sideways. I know that's going to be super weird angle for you guys, but okay. And I know my 2 photos are going down here. Exactly. They're different than the other one, right? But I know this is where I want them. Okay. I'm not going to put these in just yet. But we're going to add the hippopotamus. I'm going to put him in the back. Just like that. Okay, so then we've got our letters, and let's hope that I don't spell it the wrong way. Okay. So I'm just going to lay my ruler down so that as I adhere my letters, they are straight-ish. And spooky, I thought, fit just perfectly. So because the funny thing is, right, they're not really spooky. Oops. And like I said, I decided to adhere together 3 layers of basic black for my letters to give them the dimension instead of having to add dimensionals behind. So I'm also making sure, right, I've got lots of adhesive on them because they are thick. Okay, so that is our starting point. And, right, we have our little bat, and she's going to go up here. That is extra. I have extra characters if I need them too. But, okay, so I need a journaling box, right? So on my other layout, my journaling box was in my column, right? But I want to add more photographs. So I'm going to add my journaling box right here. So I took these two dies, again from Fright Night. So one I cut out with that same piece of paper that we've got up there. And then I just have a basic white piece. And I'm going to splatter it because, you know, it's Halloween. Everything's got to have a little bit of splatter. So I have my pumpkin pie blend and my petunia pop. And I'm going to use my dark ones. And I'm just going to take the brush and add some splatter. There we go. So I can add this onto here. And I'm not going to bore you with watching me put lines on it. I can come back and do that later. Also, there's it's neat in the dies. There's a little die that you can set in here to cut out a hole to make it a tag. Or I could have even put a hole on each end, right, and added twine out to the side. That would have been neat. So this little piece, if you inset it, will cut out a little tiny hole for you. And then I could have like threaded twine through here, but we're going to do something different. But that's just another idea for you. Okay, so I have to say, my husband borrowed my take-a-pick tool yesterday, and he's bent the end of it. I said, be careful with it. Okay, so then I have also the banners from the same Fright Night. And we're going to use these to kind of anchor a few things. So I have a black one, a banner for here. We're going to create a little cluster here with that little pig and the pumpkins. So the pig is fussy cut out, and then the pumpkins and the crow are like a die cut. And then from that ombre shimmer paper, remember the one that's green, it's like yellow and blue and purple. There's these super fun Halloween words, and they are from the same die, right? So I've got eek and boo. So I cut the boo out of like the green section. So I'm going to add that one down here. And I have another banner cut to kind of just give it like a little shelf to rest on. And then, okay, so then here's the bear, right? And I fussy cut him out. He's going to go over here. And then the little princess bear is a die cut. And she's going to go right here. I do have some candy corn that are dies. Okay, I have a banner for underneath her. There we go. So I'm going to put a banner up here too. Okay, so let's start maybe at the top. And I'm going to add some dimensionals. I just want to get them kind of between the letters. she's going to have a dimensional behind her head. And little ones at the bottom, I think, are going to be good enough. So she's going to sit like this. And then, because she's a bat, I thought she kind of needed a little bat up here somewhere. So I just kind of mixed and matched some of the die cuts and the fussy cut paper. Okay, and then we'll just tuck. I know that the alphas are no longer the creative challenge in the month of October, but we're going to keep on playing with them. So I'm going to just, I think I need another dimensional just tucked over here. So who thinks we need to then, from this one, turn it into maybe a double page spread? That might be fun. Okay, so I think I'm going to put one over there too. So this is just a single candy corn. It'll just kind of look like he dumped it out of his basket there. Okay, so now I'm actually going to start from my bottom and work up. So I'm going to add my journal box flat so that I can actually write on it later. But if you ever put like a journaling box down that's popped up and you don't feel like it's got enough support underneath it to do your journaling, you can just like cut another one and lay it on top. So if I wanted to, let's say this was popped up and I felt like I couldn't write on it, I would just cut another die cut like this, do my journaling, and then slide it in. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. Before I push it down, I'm going to get my 6x4 in here. Okay, so I kind of want it like, so I'm lining up the tip of it with the top, my top photograph there, and I'm just putting it on a little bit of an angle. And I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals, but I'm not going to put dimensionals right where it's going to overlap, so I'm going to mostly put them on this side. And after I add my photos in, I can always come back and add like another dimensional right underneath the shelf if I feel like I need to. There we go. So I'm going to add in my little banner at the bottom. Let's add our boo. Oh, but I think I need to put her on first. Okay. Here we go. And then I'm just cutting a few little skinny pieces here off the side. And then I'm going to glue the O onto her dress there. Super cute. Okay, so now this guy is for sure going on dimensionals. And I want a little bit of the purple peeking out from behind him. Okay, so a last little cluster here. I feel like she needs a pumpkin or something though. So we're going to do that after. So let's set in our last little cluster here, and I'm going to put this on dimensionals. Okay, and I'm going to tuck it over so it's like a little shelf on the top of the photo there. Okay, and the little piggy is going to be right like that, and then we're going to glue down our eek. There we go. Okay, so I really think we need something for right there for her. So let's look. And then I just have to add my little stars and we're all done. Okay, so there are, like I said, the cut apart sheets. So let's see. I think I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it off the other one. So just because it's a cut apart, you don't have to leave it the way it is either. Okay. So let's add this in here. See, I just felt she needed just a little something there. And then, okay, so that's better. Okay, so then the Spooky Sweets has a super fun embellishment. So I probably also could have like used the Spooky Halloween to make her own little basket. Right? I could actually do that after, maybe. We'll see. But the embellishment are these little foam stars, and they're sparkly. So you know we got to use those. So I will just add a few of them into each of the clusters as our finishing touches here. And I love the fact that there are like the full 3 sizes. So there's like the big star, a medium star, and then a small star in all of the colors. And so there's the 3 colors, right? The purple, the white, and the black. This one kind of tucked behind her almost. There we go. And we can't forget our friendly little hippo up here. There we go. So I think that one turned out super cute. So, right, I'm just going to move something out of my way so I can actually sit down again. So I can show you the 2 of them side by side. Right, so here is last week's, and then here is this week's. And right, I flipped it around, added more photos. We used a completely different suite in a fun little way. So like I said, The link for the sketch is pinned in the comments if you're looking for it. If not, make sure to comment sketch and I will come back and add it underneath your comment. And if you're interested in any of the current specials from Stampin' Up for the month of October, I went over them at the beginning, but you're more than welcome to ask any questions you might have or send me a message. I'm happy to try and answer them. So that's what I've got for you guys today, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.